This is the only place that's left. This is going to be the true final battle.
There's no such thing in this game. No, there totally is. Actually, we're getting really close to end game. Oh yes, we have more chair scenes. Sorry.
We set out in silence. We set out to silence God's Ark, Merkava, which was the epitome of offensive and defensive power, and the storm inside it. We initiated Operation Destroy Zohar. I'm not very clever with your operation names.
No, not really. You know, for being a dude that's omnipotent, that wasn't a very creative name. But hey, we get a CG cutscene out of it. Oh, hi. I guess it's time to power up. Boom! We don't care. So, fun fact, the ship that Yggdrasil 4 is riding is actually the same type that Sophia had back in episode 4. So it has the exact same model as the one you saw like ram into the Solaris weapon. And I believe that the dictionary actually says that, or the encyclopedia actually says there were only two. One belonged to Neeson and one belonged to Shavat. So we're basically sacrificing it.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
And I'm pink! That's the best part about it, is Anvari is literally piloting it on top. I always laugh at that. It's got a pirate ship wheel at the very top. Fire! Yay! Did we win? Yay! I love that. That little cockpit's amazing. Well, it looks like that did a lot of damage. Have we won, Alex?
Have we?
Did we beat the game? Did we?
Well, of course not, because we still gotta save Ellie.
Well, we do, but maybe she died. It is the Merkava. She is in it.
That can't be! A secondary explosion?
Oh no. I should have known better. What a miscalculation! The explosion was too big! It reacted with the main condenser right under the main cannon! And induced a secondary explosion! How could I have been so stupid?
You mean we overdid it?
Why did I not realize it sooner? This means we might have... Oh no. Ellie!
Oh my gosh! Ellie! What is it? What is this time? What is the time?
What is it
this time?
Yeah.
Hey, Satan! What more is going to happen?
Something is happening in the center of Merkava. What could it be? This is gonna give you more Ava flashbacks. I'm just gonna go ahead and point it out now. Oh, gee, what's that? Whatever it is, it's firing. Oh, jeez. Well, that's a weapon of mass destruction. Mass destruction. But hey, it has angel wings. So you know it's good, right?
No.
No.
At that time, the earth quaked and shook. And from the location where Merkava crashed, a giant object appeared. It was Deus, his final form. The Merkava was merely its vessel. Deus evolved through the use of Krellian's nanomachine into a planetary-scale weapon and began terraforming. It was attempting to convert the entire planet into a weapon. We retreated back to the base at the snow plains to form a new strategy. We declined to go back into Deus Time was running out for us.
We decided to go back.
Oh,
yeah.
we decided to go back.
So what this is basically doing is this is kind of setting things up for literal endgame. I know a lot of people didn't expect us to get here, but here we are. We are officially at endgame, kind of. There's something else that we need to take care of, and then we can worry about endgame stuff, but this is pretty much the last access to the world map you get in the game before you beat it.
Wow.
So, yay, Alex, we finally made it. We're here. Oh, and by the way, if people were worried about this, so I'm going to show off really quick. So here is, we officially have Xenogears, and it's just, it actually breaks the 30,000 barrier. I believe it's one of the few that can actually do it. Oh no, it's 30, what I'm thinking of is 37,000. So at that point, we also have Fenrir back, as well as Envari. All of our Omni Gears are back, because the other thing too that's happened due to our attack is we have gained access back to our anima relics. So yay, we are all powerful. No, you don't have to do this with regular gears. So, like I said, there's still one other thing we need to take care of, and it's actually in this new snow base, which actually, Alex, you might recognize. It is the ruins of Shavat.
Oh, wow.
So this is basically what's left of Shavat after all of the conflicts that we have seen throughout Disc 2. And in fact, here's where it is. So this is kind of the world map area, and the Snowfield hideout is what's left of Shavat. We're not going to worry about going outside because there's one other thing we need to take care of. I'm sorry, Alex, we're not done with the talkie time just yet.
Oh my god.
Yes, there's still one more. I want to get this out of the way so that I can start, I can actually start grinding for final boss time. But yeah, so here you go. I believe it's this one. We have to find the big gazebo. Oh, and by the way, you can come across Midori and Dan now. In the prison, when I saw you change into a monster, I understood everything. Living inside of you, Faye, there's a monster that's not you. He's the bad one. He's to blame. So, to forgive you or not to forgive you, well, that's not the problem. It's not like it's gonna turn back things the way they were, but it's just, I don't know how to say it properly, but I'm sorry.
It's alright, Dan. Enough already. I understand. It was my fault. I'm sorry it caused you such pain. I'm just glad I could finally make peace with you. Take care, kiddo.
Okay, so technically, again, Takahashi wanted to make this multiple games.
Yeah.
This is not the one. Sorry, Alex. But because this was supposed to be multiple games, he actually wanted Dan to go through like a full-on arc to then come to these realizations. And unfortunately, in order, when he had to cut down the budget and he had to make certain things work, he had to sacrifice a little bit, and what got sacrificed was Dan. Dan's story kind of got sacrificed in the aftermath of that, and that's why it feels so disjointed when all of a sudden in Disc 2, Dan appears out of nowhere. Because, guys, I was there with you. It was weird to see him come out of nowhere. Is this the one? We need to find the gazebo where you talk to... Oh, this is the prison area, so you guys can see the actual hole that Faye left. Wow, Faye was not kidding around, was he? Is this it? No, but I have a stupid son, you know. He used to fish for a living, but one day he said he saw a merman city on the seafloor. Since then he hasn't gone out to sea. He's become a landlubber. We haven't seen him these past few years. I don't know what he's doing now. I believe this is actually it's supposed to be like a relation to, you remember Franz, the dolphin first mate of the captain of the Thames?
Yeah.
I believe that's who it's supposed to be. They're referring to Franz. How appropriate. The Yggdrasil's echo, or... Oh, what's the term called, but the sonar officer is called Hans, and then you have Franz.
Hans and Franz.
And they're to bump you up. Okay, so this is not where we want to go, because that has the save point. And that goes outside. What about here? Okay, so this is just more stuff. You're not my dad, Lance! Oh, that's right. Okay. So you get to meet more of these guys.
Hans, is that you?
You're alive.
Yeah, you too. But if you're here...
That's right. No, it was Franz on the Yggdrasil and it was Hans on the Thames.
That means...
The Thames sank. The angels attacked. The Thames withstood the onslaught of Reapers, but was defenseless against those angels. Hardly anyone got out in time. They went down with the Thames.
What? Wait a minute. What about the captain? He's okay, right?
The captain said he'd watch the end of the Thames with his own eyes.
You're kidding, right? The old guy died? No way!
And just in honor of him, Alex, he died like a man of the sea. No, the captain's alive. He's the kind that never keels over.
Huh?
It's one of those times where you can't really prove it, but you know, like you don't want to wreck his hopes.
True.
I believe that yes, he is officially part of the kill count. So sorry, guys. The captain of the Thames is in fact dead. As with, I mean, here's the thing too: is like we're literally living now in a planet in the end times. A lot of people have gotten nuked down because of the weaponry. So, okay, there's literally one other door that we haven't checked. I don't think it's down here, because we'll have to come back here anyway. What this basically does is it takes us down to the gear hangar. Yeah, here we go. So, this is kind of the gear hangar for Shivat, I believe. And if you follow it all the way down, you get a guy over here. I'm a celebrated gear weapons specialist, but lately there's been no interesting work. There are no men with enough guts to ask me to forge them a weapon to fight Deus. If you bring me a nifty sword, I can forge it into something truly amazing for you anytime. But I won't work for anyone rude enough to ask me to check a weapon while it's still equipped to their gear. So what he's basically talking about is the Kishin sword. He actually, so what you have to do is, you have to do it from your gear. So Fenrir, we have to take this off and just put on like the Sengoku sword or the Yamame sword. And then what he'll do is he will work with it. So we're going to utilize this right now. I'm a celebrated gear weapon specialist. Yeah. There are no men with enough guts to ask me to forge them a weapon to fight Deus. If you bring me a nifty sword, I can forge it into something truly amazing for you anytime. But I won't work for anyone rude enough to ask me to check a weapon while it's still equipped to their gear. Oh, the Kishin! You sure have a novel sword. Looks interesting. Let me take a peek. This came out great. It was like turning plowshares into a sword. Use this sword to make Deus and his legions pay. So Kishin sword has been enhanced. Now we've received the Kijin sword. So we basically have Saitan's final weapon right here and now. So we'll go ahead and equip the Kijin sword, which is a plus 90. So we want that because it's going to be really helpful. Basically makes Satan into a freaking powerhouse. But sadly, that is all we can do down here, I believe. Yeah, because that doesn't go anywhere. But this does. So come back up here. Crap, where is that gazebo? I can't remember on the Snowfield hideout layout. Let's see.
Could it be on the eastern side above the prison?
Is this it? Oh, this guy too. I think I smell treasure over here. I think we come back to this guy eventually, and he'll have a reward for us too. Okay, no, that's not it. Okay, so we've gone down here, right? Crap, where is this damn gazebo? Oh, you know what? It was in here the entire time. I think we got to go up here. And go up. And there you go. So this takes us to the gazebo of Shavat, where Queen Zephyr waits for us. And I want to be able to get this done because it's kind of another cutscene. So here we go. The snow keeps falling, softly covering up everything in this world. Our sorrow, our defilement, our mistakes. If only we could wipe away these things as easily as that. What have I been doing, pursuing these past 500 years? By the way, how is the person you rescued from Merkava? I heard he recovered consciousness. Yes, well, at first, he had lost faith in himself, but now he is better. Carr has revived himself and has found some real meaning in his life. So this is another thing that got lost in the shuffle. We actually go into Merkava initially and we rescue Ramses.
Yeah.
And so Ramses actually just goes off to live his life, kind of thing. So that's another thing that we don't get resolution on. If he decides to fight on our side, then our total fighting power shall be greatly increased. And you get a little cutscene with that. Carr, please listen to me. Right now we must forget about being friend or foe. We all must support one another, regardless. Right now we need your help.
I am just trash. A reject.
Psh. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and pull yourself together, man! Hyuga, where are you? Trash. Reject. You could take pity and call yourself all that all you want, but what about them? Are these women stupid, or trash, or rejects for simply believing in you? The reason why you helped the girls, who had no one to turn to, may not have been that noble, but in spite of that, they stuck with you. Do you know why? They know you better than anybody else. They know the true kindness that exists inside your heart. They know because they want to be loved. That is why they won't leave you. Carr, do not make them into the trash or rejects that you speak of.
Commander. All of you.
Needless to say, you are not trash or reject. We know that better than anyone does.
I didn't realize that what I've been looking for was so close to me. I'm sorry for not realizing sooner. Oh, Commander!
You doomcough! Oh, by the way, everybody say bye-bye to the elements and Ramses.
So long.
That's pretty much the resolution of their story.
So much has happened between him and I. When this battle ends, I want to face Ramses one-on-one in sport, not war, as a martial artist.
I'm sure he wishes the same thing too.
Perhaps.
Faye, may I ask you something? About Ellie. What if, even if we break Zohar's spell, she doesn't return to normal?
Ellie will be back to her usual self. I will go on believing that. But even if that doesn't happen, I will still... Well, let's just say I'm prepared for that too.
You don't have to do this if you don't want to, you know. Your opponent is the person you love. If you decide to quit now, no one will blame you.
To quit would be meaningless. All that I have fought for, and all that I live for, would come to have no meaning at all. People should be free, with no one bound by others, and no one binding others. Inside of me, there is a part of me that desires that freedom, and a part of me that gives me hope. So I shall fight to win the true freedom, for we are still alive. We fight to live. That is the reason why I fight. It's proof I'm human. I promised my father and myself too that I would free Ellie from Deus's bind, that I would save her.
I understand. So let's keep believing and hope for a miracle. And there you go.
Very nice.
So you get kind of a final resolution to Carr. As you guys can kind of tell, a lot of things fell by the wayside to try and explain the overall plot. The elements kind of fell by the wayside after your encounter with them. Ramses kind of fell by the wayside. Dan fell by the wayside. And it's just one of those things that's kind of a crying shame. I know a lot of people have been screaming for a Xenogears remastered, but actually following Takahashi's design and doing multiple games.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever happen, because that would be way too complex a project. But it does make me very thankful that there are full-on encyclopedias to then later on explain what happened in that process. To be able to say, like, yes, these characters did go through an arc, and we just weren't able to put it out in the game. So, I have good news and I have bad news for everybody, and that is that we are pretty much at the end of the game. Which means I'm going to need to go and do a bunch of grinding to prep for the final dungeon. So that's the bad news.
Yeah.
The good news is that when we come back, I'm going to answer a couple of other things first, but when we come back, there is still some additional content that I want to be able to show off, and it is basically side quest content. We're going to actually showcase another little bit of story that you can get involving Emeralda, as well as be able to show off the battle arena. Now that it's fully complete, you have a full-on fighting game now in this game that works, and you can actually see like all the models that you can get out of it. So that works. But in the meantime, I'm just going to quickly explain some things that I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be asking questions about. Some of you already are. First of all, so Faye is, yes, different. He is basically a culmination of every single contact that has existed. He is Abel, he is Lacan, he is Kim, he is all of them. He has all of their memories attached to it, and so does Ellie.
Right.
So Ellie is all of her existences as well, and therefore they are like the most powerful beings on the planet right now. Hence why Ellie is being used to create an ultimate weapon in the form of Deus. So we have that. I think Miang's pretty much explained. Is there anything else that you need explaining, Alex, before we call a break?
I think I've gotten everything so far. I mean, as best as one can.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is like, this too shoves a lot of story in front of you, and with very little explanation on it. But there you go. Like, that's roughly all of the guidelines. If you guys have additional questions, leave them in the comments below for this, as I don't know when we're actually going to be able to get those final parts. This is actually a pretty nasty grind. But I will answer them as best as I can, and then when we get back, we're going to do the remaining side content, which I actually think Alex is going to absolutely love, especially the Emeralda content. And this is also going to involve acquiring kind of final frames, final weapons, everything like that. And then we will head into Merkava to get back Ellie and destroy Deus.